Hello Slicey Dicers, this is Brian with another knife video for you today. As the title would indicate, my top 5 all-time EDCs. I know this is a very, it feels almost like an egotistical video to make, but the reason why I'm doing it, over the last week, if you follow me on Instagram, which you should, Slicey Dicey 75, I've been pulling out some knives that are just mine, that I just like to carry, that I haven't carried in a while because I've been busy reviewing other stuff. As a knife reviewer, that is kind of a hole we get stuck in, where you're always carrying somebody else's something or something you've got to review, and it's not necessarily your favorite, but you want to use it and experience it, so that's what's in your pocket. And your own stuff just sits there. So I pulled out some stuff I hadn't carried in a long time, and it just got me thinking, what are my favorite EDCs? What are my absolute favorites? Because I pulled a couple of these out. I'm like, God, why don't I carry this more often? This thing is fantastic. So I'm making this video. It is an open tag. Anyone can respond to it. Do the same video. Email me at sliceydicy75@gmail.com and send me a link to it. I'll put it in a little playlist. It'll be on my front page of mine and my YouTube channel. And I'll share them with everybody. And I will tag a couple people here at the end. Also, I'm going to say at the end, I learned something about myself doing this. So you kind of realize, oh, I didn't realize my taste went that way. But once you really sit down and think about what your all-time favorites are, you realize, oh, I have a type that I didn't know that I had. So I think it was interesting for me. Maybe it will be for you. But let's get going. These are in no particular order at all. First up, we have the Spyderco Paramilitary 2. I love the PM2, always have, but honestly I expected a Manix 2 to be in this spot of some choice, because I really do like the Manix 2, and in a lot of ways I do like it better than the PM2. But at the end of the day, this is just easier to carry. That's kind of what it is, and that's why I always grab this instead of my Manix 2. The only Manix 2 I currently own is a lightweight. I do use it for harder use work quite a bit, but this is the one I grab just when I want to walk out of the house. We all love the PM2 for a whole lot of reasons. Ergonomics are great. It's a pretty tough knife. The weight is perfect for EDC. Size is perfect for EDC. This one is the Knife Center exclusive with the polished G10 or smooth G10, whatever they call it, and the crew wear blade. It is by far my favorite PM2. It is not currently available, but it's Knife Center. It might come back again. They do that sometimes. But it's just it's fun to play with. It's comfortable to use. There are just so many things to like about this knife. I love the PM2, and this is, as I said, this is my favorite. This was only $155, and if you can find, that's what's great about the PM2. There's so many different variations that if you can find the right one, sometimes they're kind of a bargain. $155 for crew wear was a really good bargain. I thought maybe also that I might put the Spyderco Capara in this spot, but it's too new and it only comes in S30V, and it being a Tai Chung Spyderco, I'm not sure it's ever going to come out in anything else. So really what pushed me over the edge is just the different variations you can get in the PM2, and that's why I would put it on this list. Next up is one that you guys talked me into getting, the Spyderco Sage 5. I liked it when I saw it, but I wasn't really going to buy one, and you guys just kept on me, to the point where one of my viewers actually loaned me one. And as soon as I fiddled with it for a week or so, I'm like, I gotta buy one of these. So I did. And it's become one of my all-time favorite EDCs. It is a 3-inch blade, which for me does matter legality-wise, but it's the only 3-inch blade on this list. I don't carry it because it's a 3-inch blade. It's just, I like it that much. It's just great. And the legality thing is only like one section of my city where you're not supposed to carry anything over 3 inches. So it's not a like daily concern for me. But even when I go places where I'm allowed to carry something bigger, sometimes I still grab this. I love the wire clip. I am in apparently the vocal minority that I really like the peel ply carbon. I think it looks cool, and it's just the right amount of grippy for my tastes. Ergonomics are awesome. Very slicey blade. Very good quality. It's just, the Tai Chung, Taiwan quality from Spyderco. It's just, I love this knife. It's thanks for you guys for badgering me until I bought this. That is the last Spyderco on the list, I swear. There's only 2. All right. Next up, we're going to go, what do I want to do next? Here's one that actually, if any of the knives inspired this video, it was this one. This is one I had not carried in a while. And once I did again, I was like, man, I got to start carrying this thing more. And it was the steel wheel cut jack. This is the M390 Italian version. I've always loved it. I always mention how much I love it, but I just hadn't been using it. And then I carried it for a couple days, and I'm like, oh yeah, this thing is one of my favorites. As you can see, I carried it yesterday because didn't clean it off before I did the video. Very professional. But what do I like about this? It's M390, which is nice. Price is reasonable. They're 150 something. Ergonomics are outstanding. Very, very good. Really like that. That's probably one of my favorite things about it is when you choke up, you're very securely locked in, and I like the blade shape. And also, primarily, I think one of the reasons why I like this so much is it's just so damn smooth. This is well used and well broken in. This is one of the first knives I bought for the channel, so I've had this for a very long time. You know what I think? Maybe, no, definitely. I've had this one longer than any of the other knives you're going to see by a significant margin. Never had any desire to sell it. It just is so drop shutty smooth. I love almost everything about this knife. It's been a very faithful companion. I sharpened it once and screwed it up and fixed it on my own, so I actually kind of learned some stuff about sharpening with this knife and everything. So yeah, this has been a very faithful companion, and definitely one of my top 5 all-time EDCs. I love the cut jack. Such a great knife. And it was weird, like when it first came out, it was everywhere, and then all of a sudden it just kind of vaporized and you don't hear about it anymore. Next up, no surprise, Benchmade 940. Any of them are cool. This is what I think is the best one. This is the KnifeWorks exclusive with the 20 CV and the G10 handles. I wish it didn't have the blue streaks, but other than that, I really, really, really like it. These are about $200. And I've heard they're available right now, but I've heard once they're gone, and they're going to do something different. I'm excited to see what the next one is. KnifeWorks always does really cool exclusives and prices them reasonably. But really, any 940, I love just the shape of it. It's so easy to carry. Under 3 ounces, well under 3 ounces. This is the deep carry clip that you can just ask nicely for from Benchmade. It's for my hands, it's pretty comfortable. I have really long fingers. People complain about the handle being too slim, but I have really long fingers, and it still is. It's fine for me. Blade shape, not the sliceiest thing in the world, but great piercer. Great for almost everything else. And it's got I love the axis lock. It's so much fun to play with. Really, really do like it. Very, very fun knife. So that is my 4th one, would be the Benchmade 940. My 5th, before we get to the honorable mention, is another one that you guys made me get. Was not a Cold Steel fan when I first started this channel. I think their marketing just turned me off or something. I wasn't into it. But I did get a couple. I got a American Lawman, which I love. And then I got a Recon 1. And then you guys kept bugging me to get a code 4. And you know what? You were right, because it's making the list. You just made the list. It's S35VN version. I sometimes wish I had the XHP just because I really do like XHP. My American Lawman is XHP. But for the way I use this, S35VN, I've found anyways easier to sharpen, so I don't really mind that this one is S35VN. But just what a good knife. It's so thin. It's so comfortable in the hand. It's so light. And they're very reasonably priced. These are like, I think the most expensive I've seen them is like $86. I've seen them on Amazon for as low as like $75. And this is a spear point version. There's also a Tonto, if you're into that. This is just such a good knife, and you guys made me buy it. And thank you. Thank you for forcing me into it. Because you were right. I was wrong. This is really cool. I still maintain it's the best thing that Cold Steel makes. I really do think that it is. It's just, I love almost everything about it. It's not really a fidget toy, but it's close to it. It does drop a lot freer than a lot of the triad locks do. It will flick open. It's very, very good. And I use this quite a bit. And as you can see, the aluminum handles have held up pretty well. Pretty darn good, actually. Very, very happy with this, obviously, because it's making my top 5 all-time EDCs. If you don't have a code for it, they're $80. Go get one, as everybody else told me. So for the honorable mention are, I'm going to bring out 2, but I'm only going to pick one. I'm going to bring out 2 because both of these are in the same boat. Both of them are in the same boat because they just came out very recently. So that's the only reason why they're not on the main list. I find myself carrying both of them a whole lot. And that would be the Kershaw Bare Knuckle and the ZTO 562 tie, both Kai products. I'm going to say the Bare Knuckle because it's so much cheaper. But the 0562 tie has been living in my pocket. I really do like it a whole lot. But it's not a cheap knife, $280. I don't think twice before I use it because it's full production and you can just go buy another one. But I can see why it's not going to be everybody's like go-to EDC choice because they are pretty expensive. The Bare Knuckle, on the other hand, is not. $60-70. It's broken in so well. I mean, it's damn near as smooth as that ZT is. KVT ball bearings, no speed assist, USA made. Yeah, if I'd had this for longer, it might have made the list. It might have bumped something else off. I'm not quite sure which one, but it gets carried a whole lot, and I don't see that changing anytime soon. 14C 28N steel, which is great for an EDC blade steel. Super easy to sharpen, holds an edge plenty well enough. Yeah, I love the Bare Knuckle. It's really great. Like I said, it's broken in so well. The D10 has become just perfect, and it's just drop shutty. Great freaking knife, and if I was doing this video 2 years from now, it would probably be on the list. So let's pull all these out, and I'm going to talk for a moment about what I learned about myself from these. Bring out I buried some of them here, moving stuff around as you do when you make videos. Okay, here's what I learned about myself. I have all 6 of them out here. I am a very I would not call proponent exactly, but definitely I give a very fair shake to higher end Chinese knives, talking to your Wies, your Best Techs, your stuff like that. Expected one of them to be on here. I really did. And there isn't. You have what? 1, 2, 3 USA made, 2 made in Taiwan by USA companies, and an Italian knife. I don't intentionally have like a USA bias. I still love a lot of the stuff, a lot of the Chinese stuff. I always will, but you know what I think it is? I think it's honestly, when I sat and thought about it, and this is what I learned, it's like that we and Best Tech and Artisan and all these companies that make amazing knives just make so many that it's hard to focus on one and to really fall in love with it, because I'm always moving on to the next one. Maybe if I wasn't a reviewer and I had one to hold on to, then I held on to it for a long time, it would be a different story. But for me right now, it's just there's so many coming out that I get one and I really like it, and then I have to move on to the next thing. So I think that's what the sorry, I bumped the camera. I think that's what the issue is with that. So that's one thing I learned about myself. Another thing I learned is I thought I preferred 3-inch knives, and as you can see, there's only one, and this is technically even just a skosh over 3 inches. I apparently prefer like the 3.5-inch blade size. So that was something I wasn't really, my brain hadn't processed. But yeah, you find out you have a type. It's like if you sit down and you analyze all your ex-girlfriends and you think, oh, there was something similar about all of them. And it's kind of the same way with this. That's kind of the way that I've found it to be anyway after doing this. So those are 2 things that I kind of learned about myself. Is apparently I like American-made stuff more than I thought I did. And Apparently I like blades longer than I thought I did, so I'll keep that in mind for future purchases. Lastly, gonna tag a couple people. I really want JT's Knife Life to do one of these because he has some really cool stuff, and I want to see what his all-time favorites are. And I also want to tag Stasa23 for the exact same reason. Both of them have some very eclectic collections, and all my stuff is fairly new and or currently produced. I bet they're going to pull out some weird stuff. They don't have to, but I'm hoping they pull out something weird. I think it'll be interesting to watch. I want to see it. I want to know. So hope you guys have enjoyed this. Again, completely open tag. Anybody can do it. Knock yourselves out. Hope you guys have enjoyed this. I've been Brian. Have a good one.